So I picked up 7 Pokemon Plush from AliExpress, and the whole point of this video is, well, to cover what you could get from Plush from AliExpress. Are you going to get things that are official? Is it going to be bootleg? How good quality are the bootlegs going to be? There's only one small problem. As I've mentioned many times on this channel, I am not a Plush guy. I don't buy much of it at all. I would personally struggle to be able to tell if something is official or not, as again, I don't really do much of the Plush. And when it comes to quality, well, I assume if you're looking for Pokemon Plush, you probably know more about quality than I do. So that is why I have decided to recruit Pittoo. Over on Pittoo's YouTube channel, you can actually see that their goal is to get a plush of every single Pokemon officially, not doing bootlegs. Although, to my understanding, he does have some bootlegs that are mixed in, which the goal is to eventually phase out. So how we're going to do this is I am going to take a look at these one at a time myself, like I would do in a normal video. Then we are going to present them to Pittoo at the end and see what he thinks. Does he think that they're official or not? His take on the quality, yada yada yada. Don't worry, this isn't an ad. I just wanted to say that this video definitely got quote-unquote junk-seekered. It definitely could have been shorter than it is. So if you were wanting a shorter video, I have added timestamps down below. The first part is basically me going through all the Plush blind for the first time, and then the second part is with Pittoo. And if you're really just here for the knowledge side of things, I would just skip straight to that. I definitely could have done this in a better format, but I didn't think about it until it was too late to go back. So to get a complete picture, you should watch the entire thing, but if you wanted a shorter video, you can skip to that segment. So starting off here with the largest one that I purchased, we have a Snom. Well, immediately noticing a random hair on his face, that might have just happened during packaging. I mean, looking again for tags and stuff of anything official, well, that's all we have right there is this little thing. And there isn't any kind of, like, copyright info or anything like that. Yeah, I bought this one specifically because it was supposed to be, like, a life-size Snom plush. And, I mean, it kind of makes Snom look pretty big. So I did go ahead and look up how big Snom is supposed to be, and the answer is 0.3 meters or 1 foot tall. And with that just being from the Pokédex, I mean, you can only see a bit over 9 inches on camera right here. I don't think it quite hits that 1 foot mark. There's a better example of it not quite hitting the foot mark. So my goal was to not like over-research these and to kind of go off of my own opinion, but this one, the sizing is extremely important. So I did look up and see if they made an official life-size plush to try and get the size, and they did. In fact, it is supposed to be 26 centimeters tall. Converting, that is just over 10 inches. So, setting our thing here to 10.5 inches, and this is going off of height here, well, it still isn't quite the correct size. You can see, if we're going up to that, right, it's kind of doing a bit of a curve, so it's not entirely fair. Maybe I can, like, squish the plush a bit. There we go. This guy is, I'd say, about 8.5 inches tall, if we're being a bit fair to it. I kind of squishing that down a little bit. So yeah, probably closer to 9 if we're going off of that top spike right there. So at least an inch and a half shy of what it's supposed to be. So my guess on if this thing is official or not, no, I really don't think it is. Lack of tags, the height not quite matching the official one that they did. As far as quality, it feels fine. I mean, it's definitely a lot of squish here. You might look at this and think like kind of squishmallow kind of feeling. It isn't. I want to say it's quite that level of, like, soft. I will say the stuffing in these little spikes isn't great. Like, it doesn't quite, like, reach the end right here. If we go to, where's one of them? Yeah, like, down here on these legs right here, like, this, like, all of that, there is no stuffing in there at all. So you'd almost have to, like, knead it and pull it out in order to get it to fill that. Which, again, could be an issue with shipping. You know, it could have gotten, like, compressed at one point of its journey. I know from working in the arcade industry where we'd have to unbox plush all the time, they will frequently, including with Squishmallows ironically, put them in like vacuum sealed bags to squish them down. But Snom is one of my favorite additions from Scarlet and Violet, and so I was happy to have the guy, even if it's a lot bigger than some of the depictions might make you believe. It's supposed to be even larger than this, you know, an actual, like, canon. Product name, Plush and Stuffed Toys. Model, plush toy. And I also like right here, anime Pokemon Pommy plush. Yeah, Pommy. LeChonk, Small Live, Stuffed Doll, Cute, Kawaii, Room Decor, Hobbies, Toys, Olives? I mean, yeah, I suppose. Plushies, kids, birthday gifts, then, yeah, color, 20 centimeters Small Live. I don't think that 20 centimeters is a color, but, you know, I'm no expert. So, yes, it is a Small Live. For some reason, it has a little suction cup I question how well that'll actually work, but I mean, it's our little, it looks kind of dopey, let's be honest. Like, these feel kind of like almost an afterthought. Like, can you imagine Smoliv without these? Like, that's just curse. This should not exist. Yeah, let's put those back down. So I guess I'll get straight into the is it official debate. I'm already thinking no, looking at our tag, which is actually sewn in really poorly. DE in China. Yeah, nothing here. Again, I'm thinking bootleg, which I was already guessing just by the design. It's not like the Pokemon Company hasn't done more ugly plush. To be fair, I don't really think this thing is, like, ugly, but these really feel like they're an afterthought. Does Smoliv actually have these large gaps between the, like, leaves on its head? Yeah, I didn't think so. So yeah, here's a picture of Smoliv on screen, and then here's an actual picture of Smoliv. Yeah, it doesn't have those, like, massive gaps. I mean, the face is kind of cute, like, it's done pretty well. I'm seeing some, like, red fiber and stuff on it, probably just from the manufacturing line. Again, to me, as not a plush person, despite the weird baldness going on here, it seems fine. Like, this sitting on a shelf, that's a Smoliv. You could tell me it's official, like, from a distance, I'm like, yeah, okay. But, yeah, I really don't think it is. I guess we can test out this suction cup. It looks really crappy, but, I mean, I suppose if you wanted to hang it, let's go test it.
That's the game!
Alright, now I'd be really surprised if this one wasn't official, right? It's just a Pikachu plush, like, surely that's the cheapest plush to pick up, because they do so many things with Pikachu. Like, obviously, this is going to be official. I don't know what about this would make you think it's an unofficial design here. Yeah, obviously this one's not. It uses this, like, really weird, like, long fur design. Like, I don't know really about long fur, just fur in general, right? Like, unlike most plush, it has, like, little hairs going on. I feel like if you took a lint roller to this thing, you'd probably have a good amount coming out. I'm seeing a little bit of, like, stuff being knocked up when I do that. Probably not picking up on camera at all. Like, little fibers here and there. Yeah, that's a pretty bad stitch there. Yeah, I mean, again, we're talking about quality here, right? Obviously, the meme, it's a capybara, Pikachu hybrid thing. It's funny, right? It's good for the meme. As far as quality, I would personally say it's pretty low. I don't know how well they typically do this kind of material on, like, official plush or on quality plush, right? But, like, seeing some of the parts where, like, the hair looks like it's almost been, like, snagged, like it was sewn in at a different pattern than the rest of it. And, like, looking at the, like, top of the head here, like, these really thick seams, like it, you know, just got out of surgery. Like, I have to imagine that whenever they do, like, what is this? It's like there's some glue on his back right here. Let me get a little bit of a zoom. Like, it's actually, like, kind of hard to the touch. I think it's just the string sticking out. But, like, I have to imagine that, you know, if they use this kind of, also like a weird thing on his nose right there. Oh, it's just coming off. Okay. They would normally do, like, a bit of a cleaner job on it. Like, this weird pattern here, and I don't know. Yeah, I would consider this low quality, but if you find it funny, it's probably worth it for the meme. Now, this one might just be my favorite thing that I ordered, probably the coolest thing that I ordered, and I hope that it actually works as advertised. We have a Magneton here. The tag doesn't really have much info on it, but we free him from the confines of his very loud bag right here. Immediately noticing a bit of an issue. Okay, luckily it's not a stain, it just comes right off. Yeah, we have a bald little Magneton, which looks so weird without the magnets on it. I'm already leaning towards official, because I already spotted a tag. Now, I've really looked at it. Fan Presto 2020, made in China, for use as prize in Japan only. Okay, let me get this all the way opened up. Oh, it's kind of hard to do, because they didn't give you enough room. Alright, here. Future me can do a translation of this right here. And then we can go to the back. And once again, future me can do a translation of that. But this seems very official to me. I know I've seen that in relation to Pokemon before, so hopefully it's able to translate it. That, like, kind of symbol going on. But 2020, that's interesting. I'm leaning heavily towards official on this guy. Now, you might have noticed a pretty obvious elephant in the room. He's missing his arms. Well, that's because they're right here. And it should... Oh my god, it works! there's magnets in the back of the magnets, and they magnet onto the side of him. What's interesting is that I actually had the choice to get a version that didn't come with magnetic arms. They were just sewn on. Okay, it is not working so well on this side. Where is... Okay, it's right here. It's really tiny. Yeah, it's not really holding on as well as the other. Like, it's kind of hanging. It's not gonna... Yeah, as opposed to this one. Like, this one's hanging on. Like, that takes a bit of force to get removed. Let me feel for that magnet. Yeah, this magnet is, like, right there towards the center. Oh, I just kind of moved it a little bit. Like, they're not sewn in place, which is kind of lame. But I suppose you could kind of like, here, let's see if we can't, we have to make sure we don't lose it, that we don't push it down into the stuffing. Oh no, it is sewn in. There is a little pocket in here. I can feel it. There's like a little pocket in there, so it is sewn in place. Why does the other one feel so buried then? So you can see right there the size of this thing. I do question if that's the magnet. Like, is it a magnet on both ends? Pikachu knife, you have a new purpose. Yes, that is actually a magnet right here. So is it just metal on this, or is that also, that's also a magnet? Okay, so it's magnetic on both sides. But if we go over here, like, there's a little bit of pull. There's a bit of pull. It feels like it's kind of buried, like it's not getting a good enough connection. I don't think it's smaller. It does feel kind of smaller. Like, that doesn't feel as large. So let me try again. Okay, it's on. It feels a little bit better. I think I just need to, like, pull it out a little bit. Stick that one on. Okay, there we go. Oh, now that one's falling off. Maybe the issue is on these guys. So, again, we did establish that there is a magnet in the bottom of these as well. About the same size. Let's try to get it off of that seam right there, right? It's going to be thicker right there. Let's kind of pull it off of the seam to the side. And then, same with this one. Alright, well, we have our magneton. Now, I did feel like, yeah, there are actually magnets in the tips right here as well. So you could actually just magnet him up in the incorrect direction right here if you really felt like it. It would be really cool is if they had like a magnet on the bottom of him or like somewhere in the back, which they don't. That would actually be really cool. Because like if you have like, you know, like on your fridge, which would be a little annoying, but like somewhere, like I have metal cabinets in this room, like just stick it up on the metal cabinet. That would actually be sick. So no magnets in his little screws either, which again would be interesting, right? If you could kind of like just connect it, you know, up here if you wanted to. But I mean, it's pretty cool. The stitching, again, non-expert here, seems fine. It doesn't actually go all the way down on this like it does on the side, which is, again, probably because right there is, you can almost see where it goes off a little bit. Like, it kind of goes a bit back right there. And can we see the same issue here? Not really an issue, but, okay, kind of wavy right there. Like, before it hits that pocket spot. So it looks like they had to do that in order to sew in the magnets. It's cool. This is actually sick. Like, I am super happy with this. So you could, in theory, just like, yeah, do that. Look, guys, Magneton has a Mega Form now. All right, Game Freak, my email address is in the description of the video. Feel free to contact me. I will happily design you some Mega Forms for base stage Pokemon. And with only 3 plush to go, well, we have one of my favorites here. Oh, hey, here we go. Once again, we have product name Plush Toy Series. Oh, he does have a tag. Okay, that bodes well. Interesting. That's the first thing I have to note is interesting. It's almost like plastic or like cardboard inside of his wings. That's weird. Okay, this is like a really like thick kind of felt. You can almost maneuver it to kind of like get it angled more back like it's supposed to. Like, you can have like a horn right here. But like, I mean, you're stuffing it in packaging that tight. What do you think's gonna happen? The head's gonna get messed up. Like, we almost need to like give him a bit of a squeeze right here. Like, it still just looks kind of bizarre. Like, that is sticking up way too much. And then, like, this faceplate right here is also, like, sticking forward too much because of the way it was in there. Like, these wings kind of need, like, pulled it back. I don't know how to describe the material inside of this. Like, it feels like plastic. Like, I thought it was cardboard at first, but I think it's plastic in here. Maybe I can get a bit of a zoom and kind of show you. So, like, there's no stuffing. Like, first off, there's no stuffing in here. It is just, like, a bit of a thicker fabric. Soft still. But then I'm kind of folding it over the plastic piece. So you can kind of see it right here. Like, it has, like, hard edges to it. Like, I am squeezing right now. Like, it's not metal, it's not cardboard, like, it has to be plastic. The plastic is warped, like, right here. It's bending, like, this way, and then it bends down. Let me pull that back. It, like, bends down and then back out again. It's like a little, like, scoop that it's doing in the plastic on that wing. But on this wing, it's not doing that. It's a lot more flat. Like, this is a plush that you really can't put in a bag like that and ship it out. So let's look at this tag, and yeah, we're seeing the same ones on the other, which kind of gives me even more hope that this is official. And you have like that same like thing that they do on the face, that kind of like thick felt-like material for the like talons right here, which are also like trying to bend. Again, I am much more of a figure guy than a plush guy, and so seeing weird deformations like this, like, I don't think I want to put this guy on display. He's kind of ugly. Like, even if you were to bend these things back, like, you're still going to have those, like, super deep wrinkles in him from where it was damaged in the first place. I'm thinking this is official, but just bad quality official. So this stuff is also that, like, thick, like, felt stuff, and it, like, sort of broke right here. Like, he has a broken tail. It is stuck bending in that direction. Like, it has memory. It just wants to arc that way. Okay, really weirdly hard. Like, this is like a rock right here. I know it's really dark because it's just black, but like this centerpiece, that is just like a solid chunk of plastic. Like, it's thick. Like, my thumbs are squeezing it, my middle fingers are squeezing it. Like, that is a thick chunk right here, and these are kind of like glued to it or sewn around it in some way. So I am thinking official, but I'm also thinking it's kind of junk. Okay, so I want to clarify, my goal here at the desk is to not do any research right now, not until I'm done actually looking over everything. And I'm not an idiot. I know that you can fake tags on plush, obviously. Like, it's just a little bit of paper or cardboard, right? But man, everything just kind of got thrown out of the window with this guy. Same style of tag right there. And, again, same style of tag, like, the same, like, Ban Presto 2020 made in China, use as prize only. Yeah, I'm definitely thinking that the other ones we had might be fake as well. Because I don't think that this would be an official blush. I'm sure if you just doom scrolled AliExpress, you've seen this before. It's a standing Gyarados. So the weird depth to his mouth right there, I want to point out, like, they left so much extra in there. I just kind of noticed that. Can you pull that out? Can you give him like a... Nope, okay, it's sewn in right there. I gotta say, it's not done terribly. Like, it really isn't. I would almost compare it to the quality of the Magnemite that we got earlier, which is the thing. I was thinking that one could easily be official. The thing that weirded me out on that was the fact that the armors can be sewn in or they can be magnets, right? That was what made me think it could be bootleg, but the tag kind of brought me back along with the quality. This one also has a tag and is made very well. But there's no way that the Pokemon Company would do this. That they would do like a fan rendition of Gyarados with legs, like standing as a primordial creature. Like, it almost like it took some inspiration from Groudon in a few ways. Like, again, it's not bad. Like, weird that they used like white stitching there when they didn't seem to do that anywhere else. Just kind of like a soft fabric here on like the kind of ears going on. They did use that kind of like felt material here as well, kind of like we saw on the Zapdos, which if I'm learning now that that Zapdos is unofficial, then I won't complain. Like, I will be happy to know that they didn't actually produce and sell that thing, because that was terrible. I bought this as like a joke item, and it's still what it is, but it kind of also shows us that, like, hey, like, I'll get some people telling me like, hey, you know, it has this tag, it has this, like, it has the official. These things can be faked. I think it's just like a lot more effort put into this than should be necessary. If the other two are bootlegs, like if they are, and then, you know, it kind of makes sense that they would put that kind of effort into like making it seem official. This one, what was the point? Like, it's obviously not. Like, this is obviously a bootleg. What's the point of this? Yeah, it's a standing Gyarados, which again, it's an interesting depiction. It's kind of cursed. That doesn't look like something that should exist in the Pokemon franchise. But we have one more. Clodsire, Wailord, Shiny Furret, Pokemon Plush Dolls, Gengar, Snorlax, X-Mimikyu, Sleep Charmander, Dragon, Air Neck Pillar, Toys, Color, Shiny Furret. Yeah, this might be a Shiny Furret. So he also has a tag. It's not the same as the other, Once again, future me will use Google Lens to attempt to translate the entirety of this. It does still have that same symbol down there, still the for sale in Japan only, made in China, like same design here, like the same design language, but not the same tag. I don't know if this is a thing the Pokemon Company has done, like putting an image of the plush, like the shiny form on a tag. Again, I don't really do plush. So I don't even know what to think at this point after that last one. 2018. Again, it's from AliExpress. If it is 2018, I'm once again leaning unofficial. I would like to note that you can just kind of curl it up or do that. Like the way that this thing is kind of sewn in like segments, you can kind of like spike up his tail if you want to, or lay it down flat. That's kind of neat. But yeah, it is a super long ferret. I do actually wonder if it is to scale. I think ferret's actually a pretty big boy though, if I'm not mistaken. But I mean, it's pretty well done. As far as like stitching and stuff goes, or the fluff is actually going all the way in the ears, it seems fine. And again, that's my issue with plush, is that plush always seems fine to me. We do have some, little white things sticking out. Oh, we do have another thing on the tag right here. Yeah, I'm just mixed on, is it official, is it not, without doing off-platform research, without just being here at the desk. But hey, even when he's like bent up like that, he can still stand on his own, which is kind of neat. Or you can lay him down. Like, I don't know, it's actually pretty cool. I still just love Furret. Does Shiny Furret have green eyes? Like, if that's wrong, then I'm willing to assume that it's bootleg. But again, I'm trying to avoid doing research currently. Yeah, it seems fine. About all there is to say for this guy. Oh, there's actually there's a metal rod going through him. You can feel it right here. It's probably not metal, it's probably like a flexible plastic. Could be like an aluminum or something. But there is a rod that goes through him, so that is what allows him to bend up like that. I was like, I didn't think it was stuffed that well. Like, no, there is a rod. It actually goes all the way through, all the way to here, so you can kind of see the end of the rod sticking out right there. Interesting. It has like a weird tip to it, like it kind of goes in and then, what's the word I'm looking for? I can't think of the word. It kind of like goes in and then back out. Yeah, so there is a rod going all the way through his body, and then up to his face, it ends right here. So yeah, that is kind of what gives it that that bendability. So I guess you could even like bend it like sideways if you wanted to, kind of like up to the side. Like, that's actually pretty good quality. Like, that's a pretty neat little detail that I feel like you would do in an official plush, right? Like, that's pretty cool. I like that that's a thing. If this is bootleg, then that should tell you that even the bootleg market does have some really neat things if you're okay with bootlegs. But, I mean, I guess now it's time for us to show all of the 7 plush to Pittoo in the same order that I did here, without giving him context clues of things that are to come.
Hey everyone, my name is Pittoo, and I am a Pokemon plush collector, if you could not tell by the massive collection behind me.
The general idea is to see if you can give me an idea as to if you think things are official, the quality, all of that. And the first one's actually the largest. We have this big boy Snom right here.
Oh, that is amazing. Oh my lord.
So I did actually take measurements on this guy, but before I tell you about those, tag right here, I know it's mirrored, but the tag just to kind of tell you doesn't have any copyright info or anything like that. And that's the only tag on this guy.
Besides the roundness, that is exactly what my eyes actually went to first. I saw the little logos that some of those tags have. I don't think any Pokemon Center or any other kind of tags like that usually tend to have any. So obviously this one would be a bootleg, but still, for that size, that is a pretty nice Snom plush nonetheless.
Yeah, so I learned that the Pokemon Company has actually made a life-size Snom plush, and that's what this is supposed to be. I measured it, I think it's about 2 inches short. It's supposed to be like another inch or 2 tall.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I know that they have done a few different Snom ones, and they're probably coming up with a Sitting Cuties one. The most recent one that I know they came out with for sure was doing the Cold Cuddlers line. I have the Vanillite as well from it, but yeah, that's pretty close to I think the life size they would have. I don't know exactly if it's like if Snom is smaller or if it's a larger Pokemon, but that does, for like what it is, close enough to the actual life size. That is a really nice plush.
But yeah, Stom's a lot bigger than I thought he was supposed to be. Like, again, like I have large hands. Like this is a big boy. Like he's what was it, like a foot long or something like that? Yeah, it's like 14 inches long.
Oh my gosh, yeah. For like expecting less and then getting more, that's always like one of the better parts about having like a bootleg plushie, because you kind of never know what you're gonna get, because they'll have a picture of something and you'll just get something completely different. So hopefully that was a nice surprise. But from what I'm looking at right now, it looks like a really pleasant plushie. I don't know exactly how soft it is. It kind of, on the screen, it might be just Discord's bugness, but it does look like, it kind of looks like a towel kind of fabric on there, but I can't tell.
Actually, yeah, that's not a bad description, to be honest. I would say it's a bit softer than a towel, but actually that's not, like, almost like a beach towel, I would almost say. I will say, and I don't know how, again, I'm not really a plush person, but on a lot of these like little spikes, there actually wasn't like anything in the spike. I actually like manipulated it to get the plush into these. A lot of these were like flat.
Yeah, that tends to be with bootleg plushies. Depending on how they make them, usually they end up probably putting them in like a big container just by themselves, squished up. So that's why a lot of bootlegs you might get squished up. In general, their stuffing might be out of place. I have one Pokemon plush whenever I first started collecting that its leg had no stuffing at all in there. So through the years, I've had to like kind of force the stuffing in there. But yeah, it usually tends to be that. If like the Pokemon have any like fabric flaps, that also tends to be a little messed up and not have too much stuff in there. But yeah, usually a little bit of molding is necessary, especially for some big plushies like that one.
So altogether, you would definitely say bootleg, but you'd say it's a good quality bootleg.
I would say it's definitely a bootleg, but it is a pretty decent plushie from what I can see. It looks like the sewing was pretty well done. I'm not seeing any like sewing lines that might be sticking out for the most part. So I'm gonna say, yeah, that's probably a good like 7 out of 10 if it comes on like the bootleg factor.
So this one had me laughing a little bit the second I saw it. Here's a Smoliv.
Okay.
There's something. Woo. Like something feels wrong off the bat, right?
Yeah, that is definitely that is a way to make Smoliv, I guess.
They actually sewed it incorrectly, so the tag's actually sewn in too deep into the Smoliv. That's cutting off the words there.
Yeah, I see that. Gosh, yeah.
I also don't know if Pokemon is big on suction cups in their official plush.
So that's also another big way to tell if they're fake. I believe they stopped using suction cups for their plushies back in like the 90s, because I have an old vintage Squirtle that actually has that same kind of suction cup. Of course, it's what, 25 years old now at this point, but they do have some of those. It just is very rare to ever see any, and if you see any in like stores or the mall, it's most likely a bootleg.
Especially if you're looking at a Gen 9, you know it's not 25 years old.
Oh, for sure, yeah. I can't even tell exactly which one that is based off of, because I'm assuming it's based off of the Pokemon Center one, because I feel like the Jazzwares one that came out a few months back might be a little too recent to actually get some bootlegs made of it, so I'm going to say it's the Pokemon Center, but yeah, it's definitely way too new to have some of the suction cup stuff going on it.
Well, I mean, the thing that I immediately noticed that was kind of wrong, I actually see a bit of a like sewing line there, like wavy. First thing that I noticed about this is the face and stuff is actually done pretty well in my opinion. And it is like really stuffed. But I was confused. I was like, I don't think Smoliv has the bald spots, and I looked it up, and no, it does not.
Yeah, that definitely some of the fabric cutting they try to do there, which bootlegs, that is going to be one of the most popular things you'll see, is a bunch of like missing pieces when it comes to that Pokemon. So they made them look very dorky. Yeah. The face looks really good though. I will give it that.
Yeah, like the face looks great, but the rest of it's I'm not sure if I want to display that guy. Speaking of a cute one, a cute funny one, this one look okay so far? Little Pikachu?
Oh, okay, yeah.
Could be official, you know, could be an official Pikachu. Yeah, it's a capybara dressed as Pikachu.
Yeah, I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that's pretty official right there. I think I've seen that at some Pokemon centers in my day.
So I actually had a few questions with this one. First off, the sewing and stuff is like not great. It has these like bald lines in its head, like
Yeah.
really thick like bald lines, and then like the direction that this fur stuff goes is constantly changing and like really messed up where they all kind of meet at certain spots.
Yeah, I could kind of see, like, it kind of looks like there's patches that might be coming off soon from the stitching. Yeah, that does look a little weird. The tail was the first thing that I noticed whenever you had the behind portion, because they didn't even get the tail right. But yeah, you'll see a bunch of these like weird ones, especially with Pikachu, where they like do a bunch of weird gimmicks with it. Like, I don't know if you remember back in the early 2000s, the Jamaican Pikachu.
No.
So that was a very popular Pikachu bootleg plushie that came out, where he would be having a Jamaican hat on with like the dreads. And that'd kind of be like the prizes that you might see at like amusement parks and stuff like that. I don't think like big ones like Six Flags or anything would have them, but those would be like one of those cheap prizes. They're kind of like expensive nowadays because there's not too many around that really get sold besides just regular bootleg Pikachus. But it is at least cool to see Pikachu having the gimmick still continue 30 years later. I'm also noticing is his hand like sewn on to his arm?
That is kind of what it looks like. It looks like it's a separate piece entirely attached to it.
I wonder if this was like a Frankenstein's creation of what they had, because that one looks like at least a little bit better, but that other one looks like it's two different like sizes coming together.
Yeah, it really is. It's like a cap that they put on. This like material for this like fur stuff that they use, it's kind of like, it's kind of like fur, right? It's long. Like, is it normal to see that, like, be a bit rough even on, like, official, like, things, like higher quality plush? Is it just hard to get that correct?
There aren't too often that you would see that, because most of the time now that they have the fuzzy plushies like that, it's usually, like, from their Comfy Friends line. And with that, the whole, like, point of that line is to be comfortable, be comfy, and, like, all of the fur and all that stuff would be softer than it is. I can't really think of any unless like maybe somebody had a plushie for a long time where it starts getting ragged. With that one, they probably just used the cheapest material possible, so that's my guess. But right now, yeah, it's probably been a good few decades since they last had like any ragged like furry plushies like that.
All right, this one's my favorite. We have Magnemite.
Oh, okay. I really like that. Okay.
Yeah, it's done really well. It does have a tag, which I'll show you here in a second. But it also has... They're attached magnetically.
Ooh.
So there are magnets that attach those on. There's actually magnets in the ends of these too, so you can attach it in whatever weird way you want to.
That's a fun gimmick. Okay.
But I mean, this is probably the best one that we picked up today, and like it's dense. Like these are a little weird.
So you don't really see... You'll see some Banpresto bootlegs, but they often don't end up having the Banpresto logo on there. So I might be thinking this may be an arcade plushie by chance. A Japanese arcade plushie, because there is a ton of those. And like, as of, I think even a few months ago, I had seen somebody winning a Magnemite. So this very well could be a gimmicky just Magnemite they had at a claw machine. Like I said, Banpresto, you don't often see that on there. You'll see like Pokemon Center in Japanese, like lettering on the tush tags. That seems to be a very big one. But for those, yeah, Banpresto is usually not a popular choice, so I actually put the logo on.
Another thing to note is there actually was two variants of this that I was able to purchase. So one of them was like this, or you could have them already sewn on with no magnets. That to me screamed, this is a bootleg. So would the Pokemon Company actually make a version like two of the same plush, one with magnets, one that's sewn in?
Okay, that changes some things. Okay. So yeah, most of the time whenever they do those claw machine plushies, unless like the variance is super different to where it ends up being a different Magnemite plushie, because it very well could be a different Magnemite plushie just in general. But yeah, if they end up having one where it's the same exact one, but you get an option whether it's magnetized or not, that does kind of scream to it might be a bootleg. So it could be a very weird bootleg where they put the Banpresto logo instead of, say, a Pokemon Center logo or anything like that. So I'm kind of 50-50 on that one. Can you show me the tush tag that's attached to it by chance? Okay, I think that's screaming bootleg. I think that's screaming bootleg because that gold texture, You usually kind of see that during the Pokemon Center, usually back in like the early 2000s, early 2010, or I say early 2010s, about the 2010s-ish to 2020s. So I'm kind of screaming that might be a bootleg. Usually they would have like the Pokemon Center logo on there, and for my Banpresto plushies, usually they have the tush tag in English. So I think you might be right. I think it might be a bootleg at the end of the day.
I was pretty convinced that it wasn't a bootleg, and that wasn't until a while later. So the tag seemed official enough to me. I would like to know, again, it's mirrored for you, so I don't blame you if you couldn't read things on it, but it said 2020 on here, but this tag says 2023.
Yeah.
On top of
that's
that,
another thing that I was kind of noticing.
Well, I did some translating, and I originally thought I recognized this little logo right here. Turns out I didn't, or I just recognized it from some bootleg stuff, because this translates to Center Monster, not Pokemon Center or, Pocket Monster. No, it's Center Monster.
Okay, that seems to be screaming bootleg, I think. I think it's a well-made bootleg, but yeah, bootleg nonetheless. Just very strange that they put the Banpresto logo, but also thinking back to it, they didn't really put the Banpresto, like, official logo. It looks like they kind of wrote it out with, like, a different text. So that probably should have been my, like, first point to notice that it is most likely a bootleg. But still, a pretty well-done bootleg. And I can kind of see with the magnets, it looks like the sewing has, like, the sewing on the outline version. Usually Banpresto's a little bit better with keeping their sewing inside the actual plushie and then sewing it open or closed from there. So those stitch outlines, like, on the magnets kind of also give it a good giveaway that it might be a bootleg, or it is a bootleg, I should say.
So I'd also like to note, I did other translations with Google Lens, and this top line right here says that it is sold by Plush Toys Company Limited. I have a feeling that's not a real company.
Yeah, either it's not a real company or it's a bootleg company.
Now, at this point in my recording, I was still thinking that one was likely a fish, right? But I was still a little sketched out by it.
Yeah.
Then we moved on to this thing. Now, it was wrapped up really tight in its bag. So, because of it being wrapped up so tight, this, like, felt stuff that they did here on the head has been kind of, like, warped and damaged and almost broken in some spots, like here.
Yeah, so fun fact, I actually have the official plushie of this version. So it's a Pokemon Center plushie, so that tag is kind of giving me 100% that it is a bootleg.
It's the same tag.
Yeah, Banpresto 2024. Yeah, but from what I remember, that is a Pokemon Center plushie. So that's probably another thing where they copied a Pokemon Center plushie and then proceeded to put the Banpresto tag on there to seem more official.
So they do have, like, plastic inside of the wings here. So there's no plush in here at all. It's literally just cloth with plastic inside. Like, you can kind of see right there. And that's supposed to, like, kind of give the wings, like, their rigidity. But it's also been warped and bent in a few different places. So this wing almost does, like, a U shape right here, where the plastic got damaged.
For sure. For the official one from Pokemon Center, they actually don't have plastic in the wings. And I feel like, if I remember correctly, the felt doesn't have the eye outline. I believe it was doubled up on the felt. So that's another way that I'm kind of telling that this one is for sure just a kind of a cheap version of the Pokemon Center one. I'm going to be so honest. That's probably, after I saw his eyes, like, looking at me through the backside, I'm going to say probably a good 2 out of 10.
That's honestly being a bit too favorable.
Hey, I had to do two for the 2 eyes that were staring back at me through the back of his head.
So my hope was to get at least one official plush, right? Again, it's you never really know until it arrives. And, you know, of course, I also like to do some more jokey, fun stuff. So I want you to tell me, do you think this one is official, or do you think this is something I bought because I was aiming for something fun? So we have Gyarados on 2 legs.
Huh. This is gonna be a hard one. Yeah, that looks official to me.
Yeah, that seems legit. This is where the story kind of broke for me. So, if you look, we have the same tag.
Yeah, at that point, it usually tends to be like one of those plushies where if somebody's gonna get it, it's gonna end up being like a grandma or a mom that gets it for like their kid for Christmas or whatever it might be. They have a whole collection of these, strangely enough. They have like I think a Charizard Rayquaza. They have a few
Yeah,
other
yeah.
ones, but I think Nido Gyarados and Charizard Rayquaza tend to be the most popular too.
Oh, is that what this is supposed
There's
to be?
also
I
a
didn't even think
Machamp
about
for
that.
alligator.
I didn't even think about the
Yeah,
fact
I
that
think
it's like Nidoqueen/King. I was
I
thinking
think
like
it might
Groudon.
be Nidoking
Probably 'cause
slash
of the knees.
Gyarados. Oh, actually, the Groudon might be it. I can't tell my brain is like so used to seeing it either being a Nidoqueen or like a Nidoking's head on top of it, so it's so hard to tell. But I'm gonna put it in for Gyarados and Nidoking.
So, from my perspective, obviously it's a bootleg, but it seems to be done pretty well.
sure.
You do have a couple spots where they use the felt stuff. The material on the claws is this like kind of mesh, like bag-like thing that isn't used anywhere else.
Ooh,
It's just on the
yeah.
claws. They
Yeah,
use
I
like a
see that,
soft
okay.
cloth in the mouth, so the mouth actually goes in
Mhm.
a good ways for some reason, like upward, like behind his nose.
Yeah.
But they use like a bunch of different material on here. Like, again, I'm not a plush guy. Aside from that wavy pattern right here in the back, like the sewing and stuff seems fine to me.
Yeah, the sewing seems pretty good to me as well. It seems like the back is the only part that really has it to where they had sewn it on the outside instead of the inside. So honestly, it looks pretty well made for what it is. You'll get a bunch of these like pretty well made bootlegs. Like I have a Gliscor that's one of my favorite like bootleg plushies that I have just because it's so well done. And honestly, that it looks good enough to be like a decent plushie to have in the collection. Of course, it's not an actual Pokemon. Technically, it is two of them, but still, it's pretty well done for what they had.
Yeah, like that's the thing is I think it's really goofy, right? Like obviously, but it's weird that they went to so much effort on this one. Like we saw the Zapdos and how like kind of bad quality it was, and then this one's actually like really well done for being a weird, goofy combination thing, and they still bothered to try and pass it off as official. Even though even a casual Pokemon fan could look at this and tell you that it's not. Like even like the biggest Gen 1er alive could tell you that this isn't official.
For sure. But usually with these kind of plushies, it, like I said, it does tend to be like the moms or the grandmas that might find it at like one of those clerk areas at the mall. So that kind of ends up being where they get them. And that's another reason why people will just kind of buy those for bulk in at that mall clerk areas. They'll just get those for cheap, sell them for like $35 to a grandma, and they make some quick cash from it.
Yeah, the grandma just wants to get their kid one of them Digimons. I get you.
Yeah, for sure, exactly.
I'm really in the middle on this one. Like, I want to say it's official because there are some parts of this that to me just seem like they really could be.
Oh, she's adorable. Oh my, oh that face is amazing too.
So it's done really well, and I learned pretty early you can actually like do this. There's there's a rod going through its entire body, which you can actually feel like at the core, that lets you bend the tail whichever way you want. And then you can still slink it back out to be straight, curve it back up, like however you want to bend this thing.
That is I do really like those gimmick features, similar to the Magnemite, having those kind of gimmicks. I will say though, sadly, it has the Pokemon Center or tag on there from what I'm seeing. And then it has the Pokemon Fit tag, which those are the kind of logos that the Pokemon Fit actually had. You might have seen the English version. I don't know if you know anything about Pokemon Fit, but Sitting Cuties is the English variant of that. Yeah, so with these kind of tags that you would see right now, like with the Pokemon on the front, that used to be like the 2010s kind of tags that they would have, 2010s, early 2000s kind. Just having the Pokemon, honestly, those are my favorite kind of tags. Again, seeing that, if you see it all in Japanese, you'll kind of know for the most part it is a bootleg, sadly. Usually, even if it's like in a Japanese setting or anything like that, Pokemon Center will tend to have their tags in English. At least the logo will be in English for sure. If you were to put it like that and actually like go through at the logo and see exactly what it says, it would probably be that same kind of like Monster Pocket or something like that we had seen previous. And then that's actually the tag supposed to be Pokemon Fit. So Pokemon Fit is the Japanese variant of the Sitting Cuties. That's the line that they're going through where they're trying to get a single Pokemon out of every generation. So like all 151, all 100 of Johto, all that kind of stuff. That's their main thing that they try to do for that. So my guess is that is a kind of a gimmicky version of the Pokemon Fit Furret line that they had on there, and they probably, instead of having it just like in a sitting cuties kind of mode where it's sitting down, they probably just like straightened it out, added the wire, and went it off on there. The color is very cute. I do really like that pink though.
Yeah, I wanted to look up and I forgot. I didn't remember if Furret size were green or not in the shiny form. I forgot to look it up. I didn't even realize, by the way, until just now, that it has that same center monster logo on it.
Sure, yeah. They don't have too many shiny variances. Of course, you'll see, I think they have like a Rayquaza, they got Celebi, stuff like that. But like for these least known or least popular Pokemon, like Furret, I don't think they've ever done the shiny variants for.
Honestly, despite the fact that I failed in my efforts at getting something official in this video, at least from the best we can tell, this one seems to also be done really well.
For sure, yeah. Honestly, I think that and the Magnemite were really worth the price that you might have paid on whatever it might have been, whether it's Wish, Temu, anything like that. It does look like a very nice plushie nonetheless. So I like bootlegs whenever I can get them if they work out. And I think that Magnemite and the shiny Furret really look good for what they are.
I can tell you, this was actually a bit more on the pricier end for what I paid on AliExpress. What would you be willing to pay for?
Honestly, thinking back to whenever I was picking up the bootleg plushies, I would pay like maybe $10 to $13 for them. And I know the Sitting Cutie line goes for about, I believe, $16 per Sitting Cutie for the new restock.
This bootleg was $13.24.
Okay.
AliExpress is dumb a lot of the times and it doesn't like to pull up all of my purchases, but our standing Gyarados was actually more than a Sitting Cutie plush. It's $16.26.
Hey, I mean, it is 2 Pokemon at that point, so.
What actually shocked me, because again, I order these things and I forget about it, right? Because it takes so long to arrive. I'm actually kind of shocked looking at the price right now. This Snom right here, what would you be willing to pay for this guy?
Ooh, okay, so that one I was kind of thinking would be the most expensive. I was thinking that could honestly go for like the $20 range.
So it was $8.31.
That is not bad at all for that. Because like we already agreed, the quality's pretty decent for that Stomp plushie. So like $8 is not, honestly, that's kind of a steal at that point. Ooh, Pikachu, I bet that went for a good dime. Seeing as it is official and all.
Yeah. I'll just go ahead and tell you, it was $15.99.
Okay, gosh, goodness, that is...
Which, I mean, again, it's not good quality, like I keep saying. Like, it seems like they could have done a lot better on this. But if you like capybaras and 100%. You think it's funny, I mean, it's the same cost as buying one, like, official, like, Sitting Cuties, right?
At that point, it kind of becomes, like, how much are you willing to, like, get a laugh out of people or stuff like that? Because I have definitely made purchases just to, like, make somebody laugh or make myself laugh.
Oh, hey, I found the price for the Smoliv. $7.97. Almost $8.
Okay, so it was the cheapest one, I think, out of your collection, correct?
I believe, yes. At least from what I can see.
For sure. That makes sense. I think the only thing that you paid for positively was probably just that face.
Okay, so the only one I can't find, I have to go through like all these different tabs to try and find it. Only one I can't find is Zapdos. This one was just shy of $14. It was $13.48.
Okay, that's another not bad one. Yeah, this seems like the prices for the shiny Furret and the Magnemite, which tend to, I think those two are my two favorites. Snom's probably a close to third. But I think Magnemite probably takes the race because it honestly did fool me into thinking that it was an official plush in the beginning. And for magnets too, that's like a real nice, that's a really good price, honestly. Right now, I would go and probably purchase something like that.
So if you would like to join me, I still have to do the bonus card of the day segment if you would like to try and figure this one out with me as well.
Let's do it.
So Brilliant Stars sleeve. Pull it out, see if there's any kind of price. Alright, so hopefully you can see it decent enough on camera. There's a little bit of whitening there, nothing too bad. The card is a bit curved, I'll note that. So it's probably been in a binder for a while, and a bit yellowed out as well, like it's gonna been out in the sun. So, random guess for what year you think this was made.
I'm going to say, you know what, I'm gonna throw a guess, 2016.
Okay, I was gonna go like 2014. We have 2005. Okay, we went way too modern.
Whoa, okay.
It's the Delta Species stamped Rapidash. Fantastic card. It would have been cooler if it was
Ooh,
a Pokemon that we had a plush of here today, though.
That is beautiful. Oh gosh.
I collect stamped cards, and so half of, like, I'd say about 30% of what I get out of the bonus card of the day ends up being stamped cards. But yeah, I actually
awesome.
forgot to do the bonus
cards.
card of the day when I did the original recording, and I was like, my audience is gonna riot. And I was like, hold on, it's actually better if I just do it with him anyway. But hey, now I don't look as dumb because we both got it wrong.
I like the way you think.
If you want to,
I appreciate being
plug
here.
your socials, your YouTube, whatever.
My YouTube, of course, is Pittoo or Pittoo Pokemon if you're just doing it in the search. I also have an Instagram called Pittoo Plays Pokemon, as well as a TikTok called Pittoo Plays Pokemon, where I do a bunch of plush reviews, videos, stuff like that, as well as playthroughs.
Well, hopefully one day I'll do something over on your channel, and I'll make sure to let everyone know when or if that happens.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. I'd love that.
Well, thanks for joining, man. And to everyone watching, thank you very much for watching the video. Let's go over to the green screen man. Hi, it's me, the green man. So yeah, I wanted to apologize that call seemed a little weird. I haven't fully finished editing that section yet, but it's probably going to be a little jumpy. The call lag was terrible. I was dealing with a terrible storm at the time, so that might not have helped. I was afraid the power was going to go out entirely. And then on Pittoo's side, he said that his internet has been, like, really bad lately. So it was just kind of a catastrophe. We were talking over each other like crazy. So hopefully I managed to save that. Either way, a massive thanks to Pittoo for willing to lend his knowledge to the channel here. So, of course, linked down below, I'm going to have it in the pinned comment and the description, is going to be a link to Pittoo's channel. It's always super fun when people are willing to, like, just kind of work together and hang out. That's an experience I used to have a lot on my old channel and back when I did Twitch, but not really so much on this channel. So working with other people in the Pokemon community, just, it's something I've always wanted to do, and working with Pittoo was kind of my first time doing it on here. So anyways, if you guys enjoyed the video, give it a like, subscribe to the channel, all that fun stuff. Now let the scrolling of the names begin. A massive thank you to all of my YouTube channel members: Pokey Hoarder J, Obsidian, Smokey of the Sun, Andrew B, Bod, Reed, KDL21, Lana C, Kiss of Ember, Air, Sucker Punch, Lycan, Car, Reese, Billy Obsidian Panther, Ineffable, Under Mosquita, Len Kiwi, Crispy Demon Duck, Crusty Blackwell, Cold Drip Gaming, Operator 369, Wonder Bread, Solar Vertigo, Shut Off 15, Thomas Mancini, Brewster, Shea Blancet, Ugor, Most Modest, Goaty, That Souls Girl, Psycho Panda, Misha, Ryan McKenzie, Emma, Winsdew, Tactical, Plum Wild, Mimi, Catfrog 1, Dylan F, Nation Harris, Full and Vaporeon, Amon VT, Alexandria Fiend, Lenny Pop, God Doesn't Limp, Charlotte Poe, Pogo, Heather Lou, and Matthew Kolar. I need to get like an AI to like read it to me in an earbud so I like can like look into the camera while reading off the names. To be honest, it would probably just mess me up far more. If you guys want to check out some more content, over here I'm going to have a playlist of all of my Pokemon videos if you feel like binging. Underneath that is going to be a random video that I think you might enjoy. And lastly, somewhere around here is going to be a link to my community Discord if you feel like joining in. It is free. Weirdly, people have asked me if it's a paid Discord. Who charges for their community Discord? Alright pal, it's going to be $10 if you want to post a picture of that Pikachu you pulled today. Anyways, thank you guys very much for watching, and hopefully I will see all of you next time. Goodbye for now.